Welcome to today's episode of Ranting Politics Headline Updates, where we slice through the noise and serve up the day's spiciest political stories with a side of sass. We've got a packed show for you today, folks. Coming up, NYC Mayor Eric Adams is turning heads and ruffling feathers with his latest stance on immigration. And wait until you hear what he has to say to his critics on the left. Then buckle up for some serious drama from South Korea, where their president just tried to pull a fast one with martial law. Spoiler alert, it didn't go quite as planned. We'll also dive into the fallout from President Biden's controversial pardon of his son Hunter, and why some former Obama insiders are absolutely fuming about it. And to wrap things up, we've got a story that'll make you double-check your toy packaging. Mattel's in hot water over a URL mishap that's got parents seeing red. In a move that's raising eyebrows across the political spectrum, New York City Mayor Eric Adams is extending an olive branch to Trump's incoming border czar, Tom Homan. And he's got some choice words for his critics. "Cancel me," Adams boldly declared, making it crystal clear he's not backing down from his stance on addressing criminal illegal immigrants in his city. The mayor's been hitting the alarm bells over the Big Apple's migrant crisis, which has already cost taxpayers a whopping $6.4 billion. Despite New York's sanctuary city status, Adams is pushing for a significant policy shift, arguing it's time to allow cooperation with ICE when it comes to serious criminal offenders. In what's shaping up to be a fascinating political pivot, Adams cited both Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama's past positions on deporting criminal illegal immigrants. He's drawing a clear line in the sand, welcoming law-abiding immigrants while taking a harder stance on those committing violent crimes. Tom Homan's already signaled he's ready to sit down with Adams, emphasizing their shared focus on public safety. "I'm willing to meet with anybody to help make their communities safer," Homan stated on Fox News, suggesting a potential bipartisan approach to addressing the crisis. What's particularly striking is Adams's pragmatic approach to the incoming Trump administration. "I'm not going to be warring with this administration. I'm going to be working with this administration," he declared, emphasizing the need for practical solutions over political theatrics. Hold on to your seats, folks, because South Korea just gave us 24 hours of political drama that would make a Netflix series blush. President Yoon Suk-yeol dropped a bombshell by suddenly declaring martial law in a late-night television broadcast, claiming he needed to root out shameless pro-North Korean anti-state forces. But here's where it gets really interesting. The opposition-controlled parliament wasn't having any of it. In scenes that could have been ripped straight from a political thriller, soldiers and police clashed with protesters outside the National Assembly building in Seoul, while inside, lawmakers were preparing for a historic vote. The tension reached a boiling point when soldiers attempted to breach the parliament building, and get this, political aides had to fight them off with fire extinguishers. Talk about improvising. When all 190 present members of the 300-strong parliament voted unanimously to reverse the martial law order, the crowds outside erupted with chants of "Long live the Republic of Korea," and Yoon Suk-yeol stepped down. Even members of Yoon's own conservative People Power Party turned against him, with party leader Han Dong-hoon calling the president's decision wrong. By 4:30 a.m. Wednesday local time, Yoon had no choice but to cave and lift the order, marking one of the most dramatic political U-turns in recent South Korean history. The Democratic Party isn't letting this go easily, with party leader Park Chan-dae accusing Yoon of treason and demanding his immediate resignation. It's worth noting that South Korea hasn't seen martial law since the 1980s, when the country was still struggling to establish democratic elections. The White House is dealing with some serious friendly fire today as former Obama administration heavyweights are absolutely torching President Biden over his decision to pardon his son Hunter. These aren't just any critics. We're talking about the famous Obama bros, Jon Favreau, John Lovett, and Tommy Vietor, who didn't pull any punches on their popular Pod Save America podcast. Tommy Vietor didn't mince words, saying Biden has made everyone who defended him look stupid and full of blank by going back on his promise not to pardon his son. He hit particularly hard on how this makes Biden look like, quote, a typical lying politician, arguing it feeds right into that cynical view that all politicians are cut from the same corrupt cloth. The criticism got even spicier when Jon Favreau admitted he felt like a blanking fool for believing Biden's previous statements. He pointed out the particularly thorny issue that Biden chose to pardon his son while leaving other government servants, like Dr. Fauci, potentially exposed to legal threats. Let's not forget what's at stake here. Hunter Biden was convicted in 2 separate federal cases this year, including tax charges and lying on a gun purchase form. The pardon Biden issued is surprisingly broad, covering potential crimes from January 2014 all the way through December 2024. John Lovett raised another fascinating point. This move hands Republicans a gold-plated talking point about Biden potentially protecting himself from investigations into whether he profited from his son's business dealings during his vice presidency. While these former Obama insiders stressed there's no evidence of such profit, they argued the optics alone are doing serious damage to the Democratic Party's reputation. Source: Fox News. Looks like toy giant Mattel has stepped into quite the PR nightmare, folks. They're now facing a class action lawsuit after an embarrassing mix-up that had parents seeing red. The company accidentally printed the wrong website URL on their new Wicked movie dolls. And let's just say it wasn't directing kids to anything about singing witches or yellow brick roads. A South Carolina mother and her daughter got the shock of their lives when they typed in the website printed on their new doll's packaging. Instead of finding official movie merchandise, they were greeted with adult content that definitely wasn't family-friendly. The mother, Holly Ricketson, is now leading the charge in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles federal court, claiming she and her daughter were irreparably harmed by the incident. While Mattel has apologized and corrected the packaging, their response hasn't satisfied everyone. They advised customers to simply discard the product packaging or cover up the incorrect link, but didn't offer refunds to those who'd already purchased the dolls. The lawsuit accuses Mattel of everything from negligence to false advertising, with attorneys arguing that parents should be able to trust products marketed to children are safe and free from harmful content. This mishap comes at a particularly awkward time for Mattel, as the Wicked movie has been crushing it at the box office, pulling in over $365 million worldwide. The company has since re-released the dolls with correct packaging, but they might find that cleaning up this PR mess isn't as simple as clicking their heels 3 times. Source: Yahoo Entertainment. And that wraps up another packed episode of Ranting Politics Headline Updates. From New York City's immigration showdown to South Korea's political whirlwind, Biden's family drama, and Mattel's marketing mishap, it's been quite a day in the headlines. Remember, whether you're a political junkie or just trying to stay informed, we've got you covered with the stories that matter, served with a side of wit and zero filter. For more of our signature take on the day's biggest stories, follow us on X at RantingRP and head over to rantingpolitics.com for exclusive content and in-depth analysis. Until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking, and keep ranting. This is Ranting Politics, where we don't just report the news, we tell it like it is.